It's a beautiful summer day in the back bay of Boston as the Red Sox are back home again today. It's Vermont Day from Fenway. And Game 4 of a 4-game series between the Red Sox and the Minnesota Twins. Hi again, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo, as always, joined by Jerry Remy. Welcome to Red Sox baseball. Well, today was to be Josh Beckett's start, but of course he has been moved to Wednesday for the Red Sox, and today Franklin Morales is back in the starting rotation, and when there, he was pretty good, Jerry.
He's been excellent, Don, in the starting rotation. As a matter of fact, he's been excellent all year long, whether it be out of the bullpen or as a starter. But let's focus on a starting rotation. He's made 5 starts this year, the 2-1 record, 3.42 ERA, and look at the strikeouts, 31 strikeouts in 26 to the third innings, only 8 walks, and opponents hitting 220. You know, hopefully Morales today can control Morneau and Mauer. They have been very hot in this series and have really hurt the Red Sox, so maybe the lefty going against them today will have a factor in this ballgame. But Morales has been really one of the most valuable pitchers on this Red Sox staff all season long.
Well, the Red Sox are trying to salvage the last game of this series. They go up against Nick Blackburn, who's on the mound today for the Twins. He's had a tough year, 4-6 with a 7.43 ERA. We're back with the first pitch from Fenway as we play day baseball right after this. By AT&T, Dunkin' Donuts, New England's website for deals by Toyota.com, and by Southwest Airlines. Welcome to Vermont Day here at Fenway Park as the Red Sox and Minnesota Twins wrap up their 4-game series here today as we play day baseball from Fenway Park. A breeze right now here at Fenway that is pretty strong as the Red Sox and Twins, it's kind of a strange thing going on here at Fenway Park right now. It is lightly raining as the Red Sox get ready to finish up this series against the Twins. There is a rain cloud that has made its way over part of Fenway Park. The sun is still shining brightly in other parts, so right now kind of a strange setting here as the Red Sox get ready for the finale of the series. You saw Franklin Morales, who gets a start today for the Red Sox, as he comes in at 2-2 into today's action. And Jerry, a very tough loss here last night that the Red Sox have to find a way to shake.
Yeah, it was a tough loss, very tough loss. As a matter of fact, all 3 in this series have been very bad for the Red Sox, but they've got to find a way to bounce back today. And it all starts with the starting pitcher, Franklin Morales, who is back on the mound today, filling in for Josh Beckett. So hopefully he can keep things calm for the Red Sox.
The Red Sox take the field, so we will check out the visiting Twins lineup. It's brought to you by Jordan's Furniture. And on this Vermont Day, here's a youngster from Vermont.
Thanks, Mr. Orsillo. I'm Megan of Essex, Vermont. Leading off for the Twins in center field, Mr. Ben Revere. The right fielder, Mr. Darren Mastriani. The catcher, Mr. Joe Mauer. In left field, Mr. Josh Willingham. The first baseman, Mr. Justin Morneau. The DH, Mr. Ryan Domick. The shortstop, Mr. Brian Dozer. At second base, Mr. Alexi Casilla. In batting ninth, third baseman, Mr. Jamie Carroll.
Nice job, Megan. On the mound for the Red Sox today is Franklin Morales, as he appears in his 34th game overall, 6th start. He comes in at 2-2 with a 3.32 earned run average. Been a good year for him, 60 Ks and 57 innings pitched, and opponents hitting at 221 against Morales. His last start was July 13th. It was a win against Tampa Bay, 5-inning, no runs allowed outing in which he struck out 5, and Morales ready to work here today against the Minnesota Twins.
The Red Sox defense is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. It'll be Will Middlebrooks at third base, Mike Aviles the shortstop, Dustin Pedroia at second, and Adrian Gonzalez the first baseman. Left to right, Kyle Crawford, Jacoby Ellsbury, and Ryan Kalish, and Jared Saltalamacchia doing the catching for Morales.
Umpiring crew, Wally Bell has the play calling the balls and strikes with Mike Winters at first base. Mark Wegner is at second base, and David Rackley is the umpire at third. Where available, this telecast can be heard in Spanish by selecting the SAP button on your television remote. Enjoy the game.
Buenas tardes, amigos.
Well, there's one cloud that is a problem right now, Jerry. It's right there. That's it. Otherwise, we're in good shape right now. It's 88 degrees. Breeze out to center at 11 miles per hour. Partly cloudy is the forecast, and we just had a little bit of precipitation here at Fenway. They took the tarp cover off, which is never a good sign. But at the moment, we're good.
Right now, I'm not worried about a thing, Don. We're going to play some baseball. And very soon.
You will recall that 2 nights ago,
I was wrong.
You said that it was going to rain lightly all night, and then we had a 2-hour rain delay.
No, not the first time I've been wrong this week.
Well, the sun is shining brightly as we start. Ben Revere stands in. He's leading it off today, as Denard Span has the day off, at least to begin the game. Franklin Morales ready, and the first pitch of the ball game is in there for strike one, and we are underway. Ben Revere hitting at .323. No homers and 21 runs batted in. He's had a great series and putting together a very good year. Riding an 18-game hitting streak, make it 19. Off the glove of Aviles, it gets into center field, a base hit. Now a 19-game hitting streak for Ben Revere.
Now riding the hot hand, and the hot hand right now is Revere. As Don mentioned, that's 19 straight games now as he takes the Morales fastball and grounds it off the glove of Mike Aviles, the shortstop. And at first base now, 26 steals on the season for Revere.
Darren Mastriani batting second today in right field as he shows Bud pulls back and takes strike one. 272, 2 homers and 10 runs batted in. Since Morales has been in the pen, and it has been since July 13th that he's made a start, you get a sense for how long he could go here today?
Well, Bobby Valentine said there were no restrictions on him, but I wouldn't imagine they'd want him to go any more than 90 pitches if he can get to that mark, depending on how difficult they are here early in the ball game.
Over to first, and Revere back to the bag. Mastriani, 2 home runs, 10 runs batted in on the season. Named off waivers from the Toronto Blue Jays. There goes Revere. The pitch, a strike and no throw from Saltalamacchia as Revere steals second base.
Now, one thing about Morales, he's very, very quick on his throws to first base, but you can get a good jump on him. And that time, Revere did get a good jump, not even a throw from Saltalamacchia.
In the dirt, kicks off Saltalamacchia, keeps it in front of him. No advance for Revere at second base. Revere with 3 stolen bases now in the last 5 games. First round pick by the Twins in 2007. inside, and almost sounded like got a piece of Mastriani, but he does get out of the way.
Morales buzzing that fastball inside and just missed the elbow, it looked like, of Mastriani.
Joe Mauer waits on deck. Last night's hero for the Twins. Center fielder Jacoby Ellsbury back in the lineup today for the Red Sox out in center. He was a step or two towards right center for Mastriani to go the other way. Pickoff play at second, and Revere is back safely.
Dustin Pedroia playing in very close to that bag. There had to be a sign combination they used here for the pickoff. That's usually the case between a second baseman and the pitcher. And that time Revere gets back in feet first.
Strike 3 call. Mastriani gets the bad news from Wally Bell. Thought he had ball 4, but instead he is rung up. 1 down.
A good pitch there by Morales. A fastball right at the bottom of the strike zone.
One out runner at second, and Joe Mauer coming up. Mauer at 327 homers and 53 runs batted in. His 7th home run coming here last night. A 3-run shot that propelled the Minnesota Twins over the Red Sox at the time, and they go on to win to 6-4 in last night's game. And as tough a loss as the Red Sox have endured in 2012, and this was the same. After Aceves had missed a pitch that he thought he had for strike 3, instead it turns into a 3-run home run and a loss for the Red Sox, who went quietly in the bottom of the 9th inning. Aceves dealt the loss, and for Alfredo now, that's his 7th loss of the year, as he is now 2-7. And the blown save earlier, that was in the 8th inning. One-0 pitch coming to Mauer. That's a strike. 1-1.
Joe Mauer has faced Morales 4 times. He's 1 for 4 against him.
Well, Mauer's had a flair for the dramatic. He has 2 home runs in the 9th inning this season. It's the most home runs he's had in any inning on the year. 1-1 is a swing and a miss. He was fooled in the pitch from Morales. 1-2.
Good breaking ball by Morales. The curveball to pick up the strike and put Mauer in the hole. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Starts it inside, finishes down and away.
Strike 3 call. Back-to-back Ks for Franklin Morales. 2 down.
Changeup. Follows the curveball away up with a changeup and just completely freezes Joe Mauer. Beautiful changeup on the outside corner.
Mauer knew it. Takes with him the 2nd strikeout for Morales, as Josh Willingham coming up. Willingham, who had last night off till late in the game, as he pinch hit, he hits a .263, 27 homers, 80 runs batted in, and gets a start again in left field. Willingham 0 for 12 so far in the month of August. He's got some good power numbers, though. 27 homers, 80 runs batted in on the year. He is 3rd in RBIs in the American League. Hamilton on top with 90, then Miguel Cabrera at 88, then Josh Willingham. His 27 home runs ties him with Jose Bautista. The league leader is Adam Dunn with 31 home runs. 1-1. The 31 home runs by Dunn is the major league leader because Ryan Braun leads the National League with 29. Fouled off, and Morales is ahead 1-2. On deck is Justin Morneau. They split up Maurer and Morneau today, with Willingham batting in the 4 spot. The numbers in the month of July for Willingham. Mentioned he's 0 for 12 this month, but had a very good month in 25 games in July. That's away, and it's 2-2. Minnesota, with their wins in this series, have won 3 games in a row. 11.5 games back of the White Sox in the American League Central. Fouled off to the right, and we'll do it again. 2-2. Foul back again. Willingham wasting another pitch, and it's still 2-2. Seventh pitch of the at bat coming up for Josh Willingham as Franklin Morales tries to get out of this first inning unscathed. Check swing. Did he go? No. So it's first base umpire Mike Winters. And a full count out.
Morales trying to snap off that breaking ball, and a good call by Winters down at first base. That was no swing.
Morales with a 3-2 pitch to Willingham. Grounded foul. We'll do it again. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Boston Red Sox may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Boston Red Sox. Ninth pitch of the at bat coming up here to Josh Willingham. Ben Revere had a leadoff single, stole second, while Morales was striking out Mastriani and Maurer. Now entwined in a battle here with Josh Willingham. Check swing foul again.
Twice Morales trying to put him away on the changeup, and twice Willingham able to foul that pitch off. His changeup up in the zone about letter high. And the check swing fouls the ball off to the first base side.
He's fouled off 5 of the first 9 pitches that he has seen. Pitch 10 coming up. Ball 4, and Morales loses him. Quite an at bat for Willingham. First walk given up by Morales. So 2 on and 2 outs, and now he's going to deal with Justin Morneau.
One thing Morneau has done in this series is take the ball to the opposite field very well against left-handed pitching.
272, 13 homers, 50 runs batted in. Picked up his 759th career RBI in yesterday's game for the Twins. He passes Gary Gaetti, now ranks 5th on the Twins' all-time list in RBIs. And a breaking ball that misses inside. He's had an incredible series, going 8 for 12, 3 doubles, 3 runs batted in, and looking like the MVP in 2006, Justin Morneau. Series of injuries, concussion, post-concussion syndrome, neck problem in the last few years, as he takes a look at strike one. Look at his numbers from that MVP season. Morneau gets jammed and fouls it back and is down 1-2. He was 4 for 4 with a walk and 2 doubles, a couple of runs driven in. Part of the game here last night. Lefty's not a problem. All 4 of his hits coming off left-handed pitching. 2 on, 2 down, and a 1-2. Chop to first base. Gonzalez has got the high hop. He'll take it to the bag to end the inning. So Morales leaves 2 on as the Red Sox are coming up. So we head to the bottom of the first inning, as on the mound today for the Minnesota Twins is Nick Blackburn. In his 17th start, it has not gone well. He's 4-6, 7.43 earned run average, 82 in the third innings, 35 Ks with 24 walks. And look at the hits per innings. As last time out, no decision. 8 innings, he did pitch well, giving up only 2 runs against the division-leading White Sox in the AL Central. And it's the longest outing of the season last time out. Jacoby Ellsbury back in the starting lineup today as he takes strike one. Jacoby at 259 with a home run, 6 runs batted in. His absence from the starting lineup last night was precautionary, and he did come into the game defensively in center field late in last night's contest. A strike, and it's 1-2 to Ellsbury. Ninth road start of the season for Blackburn, who comes in at 4-6 into tonight's action. This one fouled off. He is 2-2 in his career against the Red Sox with a 4.17 earned run average. Look at the breakdown for him. Home games to road games during the course of his career, and very much enjoys being at home, whether it be the Metrodome or Target Field. One-two is foul down the left field line, out of play. Well, today is Vermonte at Fenway Park. Enjoy Cabot cheddar at your favorite grocer. Visit us when you find yourself in Vermont. It's all brought to you by the farm families of Cabot Creamery Cooperative and VermontVacation.com. Line down the right field line, foul. Ellsbury with hits in 5 of his last 6 games with a plate appearance. Strike 3 call. Ellsbury strikes out, first out of the inning. Well, today is Vermonte here at Fenway Park. Red Sox starting lineup is brought to you by your New England Chevy dealers. Here's the Red Sox starting lineup.
Mr. Orsillo. I'm John O'Rourke of South Burlington, Vermont. Leading off for the Red Sox, the center fielder, Mr. Jacoby Ellsbury. In left field, Mr. Carl Crawford. The second baseman, Mr. Dustin Pedroia. At first base, Mr. Adrian Gonzalez. The DH, Mr. Cody Ross. The catcher, Mr. Jared Saltalamacchia. At third base, Mr. Will Middlebrooks. The right fielder, Mr. Ryan Kalish. And batting ninth at shortstop, Mr. Mike Aviles.
Nice job as Carl Crawford lines one into center field, and Carl's aboard to begin things here in the first inning as John did a great job of giving us the lineups. Crawford has really played well lately, Jerry, and starting to come around at the plate.
Certainly has, and this pitch looked to be away from him on the outside part of the plate. He gets to it and hooks it back up the middle of center field for the base hit. So Crawford, who was in his career had only been 1 for 14 against Blackburn, picks up the base hit here with 1 out in the first inning.
Dustin Pedroia hitting at .262 on the year. Check on first, and Crawford back to the bag. Showing a lot of stirrup today as Carl Crawford got the hands a little bit higher than normal. Throw over and back is Carl again. .262, 9 homers, 39 runs batted in for Pedroia. Dealing with Nick Blackburn, who's from Washington, Oklahoma. 30-year-old Nick Blackburn. He's been with the Minnesota Twins and in the majors since '07. Count evens at 1-1. Blackburn winning 11 games in 2008, 2009, a 10-game winner in 2010. Last year, he was 7-10 in 26 starts. And so far this year, he is 4-6. There goes Crawford. Pitch outside. Throw from Mauer is not going to be in time. Casilla having to dive to make that grab on the throw from Mauer.
And Crawford pitched a great pitch to go on. It was a breaking ball, something off speed. Pretty good jump at first base. Just outruns the throw. Nice play by the shortstop, Dozier. Actually, that was Casilla, the second baseman, to get out of the way of Crawford, who was coming into second base.
On the ground to third base, picked by Jamie Carroll. The throw is in time. No advance for Crawford, and now 2 outs here in the first inning.
Let's take a look at the Twins defense. Jamie Carroll at third base, Brian Dozier, the shortstop, Alexi Casilla at second, and Justin Morneau, the first baseman. Left to right, Josh Willingham, Ben Revere, and Darren Mastriani. Joe Mauer doing the catching for Blackburn.
2 outs here in the last half of the first inning. Crawford at second base and Adrian Gonzalez the batter. 301, 10 homers, 63 runs batted in for Adrian. It's a 4-game hitting streak coming into today's action and leads the majors in average with runners in scoring position, hitting at .408 in that category. And he's got Crawford at second base here and 2 outs in the first.
Yeah, 63 runs batted in the season for Gonzalez.
On the outside corner, 1-1. Popped up. Foul ground third baseway. Carroll is there in the third base coach's box and makes the catch. The Blackburn, whose worst inning of the year is the first, he gets through it unscathed. We're scoreless from Fenway. Saturday, August 18th at Futures at Fenway, presented by Xfinity. His minor league doubleheader is a day full of family fun with discounted concession items, on-field promotions, and autograph sessions with the stars from both games. Fans will be a part of the action all day long. Tickets start at just $5. Visit redsox.com/futures to get your tickets today. And leading it off here for the Twins in the second inning, Ryan Domit. Domit, the DH. She looks at a strike over the inside corner. Domit, Dozier, and Casilla 6, 7, and 8 for Minnesota here in the second inning. Franklin Morales had to throw 26 first inning pitches. Red Sox playing in their 109th game of the year. That's a strike, and it's 2-2. Last night, as tough a loss as we have seen this season here at Fenway Park. And the Red Sox trying to bounce back less than 24 hours later. Joe Mauer with the 3-run home run after the dramatic pinch hit home run by Pedro Siriaco that appeared to give the Red Sox a win. This is to left. Crawford, the glasses down at the warning track on the wall to make the catch. Not sure if Carl knew exactly where he was, but in the end makes the catch.
Yeah, it looked like he had about 3 or 4 more steps before he got to the wall, but he felt like he was running out of room, so he reaches and then has to jump to make the catch just before getting to the wall. You see him put that left arm out to try to feel for the wall, and even after the catch, the wall was not there.
One out in the second inning. Brian Dozier, the batter. 245 homers and 30 runs batted in. Shows bunt, but takes the strike. On the right field roof deck, as this one is fouled off the third base side of the mound. Morales takes his time and throws to first base, gets Dozier for out number 2. Well, the play of the week is brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. Last night the game tied at 2 in the 8th. Pitch hitter Pedro Siriaco lined the second pitch from Glenn Perkins into the monster seats to give the Red Sox a lead. Siriaco's first home run in the majors, earning him a curtain call from the Fenway fans. The play of the week is brought to you by Taco Bell. Fortunately, the happy ending did not occur afterwards, as the Red Sox, of course, dropping the game, and Joe Mauer with the 3-run home run. First pitch, a curveball in there for strike 1 to Casilla. Three in a row retired by Morales. Morales with 2 quick outs here in the second inning. Rising fastball misses. On deck, number 9 man Jamie Carroll has had a very good series. Inside, see, almost gets hit.
Morales coming down and in with the fastball, and Casilla has to get that back foot, the right foot, out of the way, or get hit. That's the options.
Fourth 3-ball count for Morales. And this one fouled back, full count. For every Red Sox game that goes into extra innings or the Sox earn a save, CVS Pharmacy will make a donation to Boston Children's Hospital towards their $25,000 donation this season. 2 outs in the second inning. A full count to Alexei Casilla, now backs out. Popped up left side as drifting is Aviles by the stands, and he won't have a play. Drifts into the crowd, and Aviles running as far as he could. Will Middlebrooks alongside.
Now battling everything right there. Both guys, the breeze, the sun, And the ball finally getting pushed into foul territory into the stands. Aviles running into that wall pretty hard. Got him up around the thigh area.
.41 pitches in an inning and 2/3 now for Morales. There's 2 outs in the second inning as 3-2 again. Garcia strikes out, elevated the fastball at 94 miles an hour, picks up his 3rd K. A 1-2-3 inning, scoreless from the Fens. In part by Eastern Bank, the official bank of the Red Sox television network. Tradition, history, and a commitment to everyone on our team is just a few of the things Eastern Bank is made of. Find out more at easternbank.com. Second inning back at Fenway, Cody Ross leading it off and taking strike one over the outside corner. Ross in the DH spot today for the Red Sox. Ross, Saltalamacchia, then Middlebrooks anticipated here in the second inning. Red Sox have sort of been rotating this DH spot in the absence of David Ortiz. Sort of more along the lines of the way that other teams are currently using the DH spot. Very few actual DHs now besides David Ortiz are just DH only. And a lot of times teams now using it as a way to give guys partial days off, not working defensively but only in there offensively. And that has been the case in the absence of David. This is on the ground at third base. Carroll's got it to throw. And plenty of time for the first out of the second inning. Join Jack Edwards, Ken Ryan, and Naoko Funayama for NESN's exclusive live coverage of Little League New England Regional Tournament. Presented by Irving Oil. Our coverage begins Tuesday morning at 10 when Rhode Island takes on Vermont. Visit NESN.com for more information. One out in the second inning as Jared Saltalamacchia stands in.
That's always an exciting tournament.
Yes, it is. Sadly for me, Jerry, Little League was really the last time that I dominated on the field.
From what I hear, you did play Little League.
Yes, I did.
I didn't hear much about domination.
No, I played Little League, but that really was the end. That's where skills really started to go. But I think part of my problem is that I had the Dwight Evans stance. And it worked for Dwight Evans really, really well. But if you're in Little League, it's not a great stance.
Well, there's a lot of moving parts to that. And it
Yes.
takes, it takes perfection to be able to
Right.
pull that off. And you just can't, jump in the box without any help. And
Plus, I was doing it wrong, as it turned out. Dwight showed me all the wrong things I was doing. This is line down the right field line, foul. So I was doing a fake Dwight Evans batting stance.
now you made the right career decision. I mean, you did. Intern for Joe Castiglione,
Yes.
ended up here. I mean,
Yes.
you made the right move.
Worked out all right, but
Thank you to Dunkin' Donuts again
Yes.
for the coffee.
iced coffee today. This is a first. This one is foul back. We did not have to have anybody test the coffee today. Feel confident that no one's trying to poison me today.
How do you know that?
I don't. But I think the person who was going to poison me yesterday is not working today, so I feel better.
Yeah, but he's not the only enemy that you have.
Outside, and it's 2-2.
God.
Swing and a miss. Saltalamacchia down on strikes. Second strikeout for Blackburn, 2 down.
Blackburn going down and in with the fastball to pick up the strikeout against Saltalamacchia. Usually that's a pretty good pitch for a left-handed to hit, but that time no contact by Salty.
Four in a row. Retired by Blackburn. Here is Will Middlebrooks. 289, 13 homers, 48 runs batted in. First pitch strike from Blackburn. As we're going to break, mentioned that Blackburn's first inning has been his toughest inning of any. 16 runs allowed, 25 hits in the first inning this season. And giving up runs in 9 of his first 16 starts in the first, but now he is through the first and has 2 quick outs in the second. This one gets a piece of the home plate umpire, Wally Bell. Middlebrooks grounds it back up the middle into center field, a base hit. Red Sox get their second hit of the afternoon.
Now that's a pitch right there that Middlebrooks been seeing an awful lot of, and that's the breaking ball, the curveball, and he's making that adjustment. He looks better now than he did earlier in the season against the breaking ball, taking it up the middle that time with 2 outs for the base hit. Was Will getting the night off last night, getting a night of rest, back in there today.
2-out base runner as Ryan Kalish stands in, getting the start in right field today, a 206 average. No homers and 5 runs batted in. And a first pitch strike from Blackburn. Throw to first, and Middlebrooks appeared to be leaning in the other direction at first, but he gets back.
That top part of his body looked like he was going to take a step towards second base and then quickly had to dive back to first base.
Foul tipped into the catcher's mitt, and it is 1-2. The Red Sox have made a deal today, Jerry, It involves the Twins. The Red Sox acquiring third baseman Danny Valencia, who we've seen in this series from the Minnesota Twins in exchange for outfielder Jeremiah Pineda. Valencia has been optioned to AAA Pawtucket. So the Red Sox acquire Valencia in this series against the Twins, and he will be sent to the Paw Sox. Valencia is 27 years old. Runner goes. Pitch misses. No throw from Mauer. Stolen base for Will Middlebrooks.
Second steal of the afternoon for the Red Sox. Crawford had one back in the first. Now Middlebrooks. And not even a throw from Joe Mauer in the second base. So the Red Sox feel they can get a good jump against Blackburn. And so far they've been running. And Valencia actually played in this series.
Yes.
A couple of games against the Red Sox.
Parts of 3 years with the Twins, as there is strike three. We'll talk more about it when we come back. Kalis strikes out. We're scoreless through two. When the Sox score, you can score. Just watch the game at your favorite bar or restaurant that has a Budweiser Draft Rally Tap. The Budweiser Rally Tap is a new interactive tap handle that follows the action in real time. Any inning the Red Sox score, the tap lights up and giveaways begin. Visit NESN.com/BudTap for more information. Top of the third inning. And leading it off for the Twins is Jamie Carroll. The trade of Valencia. Carroll should see more time now at third base for the Twins. Just talking about the trade the Red Sox making today. Valencia was with the Twins in this series and now joins the Red Sox and has been optioned to Pawtucket. But Valencia, 27 years old, 260 average in his career, 24 home runs, 273 major league games under his belt over 3 seasons with the Twins. Right-handed batter and has been optioned to Pawtucket. The Twins get Pineda. This season had 36 games in the rookie level Gulf Coast League Red Sox. So more of a long range plan for the Twins. Strike one, 3-1. Ball 4, and down to first base goes Jamie Carroll. Second walk given up by Morales. Attention Red Sox Nation, you can help support the Jimmy Fund's fight against cancer at your local Dunkin' Donuts. Stop into participating restaurants between August 4th and 12th and donate $1 to receive a paper cup icon to be placed on the wall. The Dunkin' Donuts and Baskin Robbins Community Foundation and the Jimmy Fund thank you for your support. St. Albans, Vermont. On Vermonte here from Fenway Park. And all kinds of folks from Vermont who are here today.
Understand you're going to have an interview coming up with a high-ranking official from Vermont.
Yes, Steve Cook will be heard from a little bit later. He talks a little bit about the fun things you can do in Vermont, especially during the summer. Great place to go on vacation, especially if you have small children.
And you obviously will be not paying for any more vacations in Vermont, from what I understand.
That's not true.
I'll bet on that.
Throw to first and almost. Always a chance when Morales is on the mound, and Carroll just got to look at Franklin's terrific move.
You see him just freeze right there on the move of Morales, and that's what he does with most base runners. He'll just freeze them out there, and then all of a sudden they got to really scramble to get back.
3 pickoffs this season. Sliced foul off to the left, out of play. One, two. Is sent foul off to the left. That'll get into the sweet level. And it hangs at 1 and 2 to Ben Revere. Revere extending his hitting streak to 19 games with a single in the first inning. He only hit so far off Franklin Morales. Chopper right side. Pedroia will go to second. No chance of getting Revere's get good speed at first. They do get the lead runner, Jamie Carroll, 4-6 on the force out for the first out of the inning.
Plus, infielders know the speed of the runners, or they should know the speed of the runners going down the line, and no point in rushing here for Dustin Pedroia. They know they're not going to get a double play on a ground ball hit like that. 2 big hops to Pedroia, so they may make sure they just get that force out at second base.
1 out, 1 on. And Darren Mastriani coming up here for the Twins. He was a strikeout victim in the first inning. 1 of 3 strikeouts so far for Franklin Morales. Well, things don't get any easier for the Red Sox after this series with the Twins. They will welcome the Texas Rangers in town tomorrow for the first of a 3-game series. Rangers are atop the American League West, a 5.5-game lead over the Oakland A's, who slid into second place. Past the Angels for the moment, just a half game between the A's and Athletics and Angels. This is to center field and will get down for a base hit. Revere stops at second as Mastriani has got a base hit, and Minnesota has runners at first and second with 1 out.
High changeup that time for Morales. Got a lot of the plate and up about belt high. And Mastriani takes it into center field for the base hit. That pitch count already up to 53 for Morales, and we're only in the 3rd inning.
We were talking about wondering about where it would be in this spot start here today for Franklin Morales and Josh Beckett's spot. Beckett will make the start on Wednesday, game 3 of the series against the Texas Rangers. Jerry, if the season ended today, both the Angels and A's would be in the playoffs.
They'd be the wild card teams.
Wild card teams.
Both from the West.
Oakland A's with 13 walk-off wins this year. They have done it in dramatic fashion. Outside for ball one. Daisuke Matsuzaka pitching for the Pawtucket Red Sox today. And outing the last 3 innings, gives up 5 hits, 4 runs, only 1 was earned. Error made by Jose Iglesias in that game. 75 pitches, 49 for strikes.
Now 75 pitches in 3 innings for Daisuke, not very good.
Also hit a batter. Bobby Valentine was hopeful that he was going to have a good outing today and really go after it. And based on those numbers, that is not the results they were looking for. Two on and 1 out for the Twins as they bat here in the third, the toughest part of this order. Joe Mauer at the plate right now. Throw to first with a runner at second base. He gets picked off. That's hard to do. Mastriani just did.
Now that's a prearranged play between Gonzalez and Morales. We've seen him try that before, and it has worked before. First and second situation. Now watch Gonzalez just break for first base, and they have the easy pickoff.
So Revere at second base, 2 down in the inning, and a bluff off the backside for Morales. That's a strike, and it's 1-2. Fastball in the outside corner, 94 miles an hour. Rolls it over softly down the first baseline. Morales will apply the tag on the way by for out number 3. 2.5 in the books from Fenway. No score. Today is Vermont Day at Fenway Park, and before the game I had the chance to catch up with Steve Cook, the Deputy Commissioner of the Vermont Department of Tourism and Marketing, about the Granite State.
We just finished up with our Vermont Brew Fest, which is a great event to sample some of our Vermont craft beers. We also have a great cheese festival in Vermont, where our friends from Cabot Cooperative, who produce some of the world's best cheddar, go and display and taste some cheeses. There's some fantastic events. The really great thing about it is there's stuff for everyone, with young kids or young adults or adults like us.
Well, you got a lot of stuff to do in Vermont. And it is not the Granite State, Jerry. It is the Green Mountain State. Granite State is, of course, New Hampshire.
Somebody brought us some nice maple syrup prior to the ball game today.
And they also sent us a basket of stuff, Jerry, which is terrific. We thank them very much. Got a little bit of everything that Vermont has to offer.
Yeah, we know where that's going.
Maple syrup. Maple syrup. It's got some cheeses in there. Some Cabot cheeses. Also some stuff that...
They always come bearing gifts.
They do. We love the people of Vermont, and we like gifts. Where do you think that's going, Jerry?
I think it's going right to your house.
The 1-2 pitch is chopped up the middle into center field. Mike Aviles with a base hit to begin things here in the last half of the third.
Aviles getting a fastball down and away, tops it, but up over the head of Blackburn and into center field for the leadoff base hit in the third inning. First time the Red Sox have had the leadoff man on in this game today.
The key matchup brought to you by New England Acura dealers. Updated numbers for Aviles, 7 for 12 now against Nick Blackburn. Lead runner on for the Red Sox for the first time today, Jacoby Ellsbury. Stands in on the left side. Ellsbury struck out looking in the first inning. Now sends one down the left field line. Slicing as Willingham won't get there. It's off the wall. Heading for third base is Aviles. He'll get there. It's a double for Jacoby Ellsbury, and it's second and third with nobody out. And a good start to the bottom of the third inning for the Red Sox.
Now Jacoby struck out on a fastball in his first at bat. He's not waiting around this time. First pitch. Fastball and takes it to the opposite field off the left field wall. Well, the Red Sox with second and third and nobody out.
Carl Crawford, who already has a hit today, singled in the first, stole a base. Chance to do some damage here in the third inning. Crawford takes strike one. Over the inside corner, and it's 0-2. Crawford didn't think so.
Looked like a pretty good pitch, picking up the inside corner. Kyle's going to jump back from this pitch, but it does get the corner.
Aviles at third base, Ellsbury at second base, nobody out. Under foul, and it hangs at 0-2. Inside 1-2. Yankees playing day baseball today against the Seattle Mariners. Worked out to a 2-1 advantage. They're playing in the fourth inning in New York. Yankees starting the day with a 10-game lead over the Red Sox, 6.5-game lead over the Orioles and Rays. Ground ball to shortstop. This will get a run in. Throw to first. In time to get Crawford, but Aviles comes in, and the Red Sox take a 1-0 lead.
After a number of pitches inside, they try to go away from Crawford, but he reaches out and makes contact. And by making contact with the infield back, the Red Sox able to score a run.
RBIs in 6 of his last 7 games for Crawford. 1 out, runner at second for Dustin Pedroia. On the ground, foul. To right field and a base hit. Ellsbury going to third to be stopped there as they get it back in quickly. It's a single for Pedroia. The Red Sox have first and third with 1 away.
And no chance at all for Ellsbury to score. That ball was hit too hard, and Mastriani was playing shallow in right field, so he puts a good charge on the ball, and he actually had it before Jacoby got to third base. Here's the base hit by Pedroia. Mastriani coming in, charging the ball, and they have to hold up Jacoby Ellsbury.
First and third, 1 out. And Adrian Gonzalez about to step in here. Adrian fouled out to the third baseman, Jamie Carroll, in the first inning. Even .300 average for Adrian Gonzalez. Pedroia takes off at first as Gonzalez fouls it off to the left out of play. Well, tonight at 10, join Jamison Coyle for Nesson Daily, presented by Sun Life Financial. We'll have an update on the American League East and wild card races. Jeff Howe and Shalise Manza-Young report from Patriots camp, plus a recap from day 9 of the London Olympics. All this and much more on Nesson Daily tonight at 10, only on Nesson.
Once again, the Red Sox trying to steal a base. They know they can run on Blackburn. It was a great jump at first base by Pedroia, but fouled off by Gonzalez.
Gonzalez flares it to center. It'll get in for a base hit. From third comes Ellsbury, and the Red Sox take a 2-0 lead. Adrian Gonzalez driving in his 64th run of the year puts the Red Sox on top by a pair.
Red Sox already with 4 hits here in the third inning, and Gonzalez with the latest. Just a little bloop that's going to end up in front of Ben Revere to drive in a run. And he continues to do big-time damage with men in scoring position.
Already 6 hits against Blackburn. He's allowed 978 hits in 804 2/3 career innings pitched. Cody Ross gets a pitch up and in. Grounded out to third base, first time up. Foul back. See all the hits against Blackburn over the years in his career, and the opponent batting average .301 against Blackburn. Two on here, 1 out in the inning. Red Sox have scored twice. Cody Ross trying to add to it. Two and 1. 7th game of a 10-day, 10-game homestand for the Red Sox, their longest of the season. They've won 2 of the first 6 contests here at Fenway, and home has not been a great place so far for the Red Sox this season. 27-32 at Fenway. It's on the corner to even the count at 2-2. Very unusual to have the Red Sox under 500 at home, and that's what they are coming into tonight. On the road, the Red Sox with a winning record there, 26-23 away from Fenway. Ross pops it up. Third base way, Jamie Carroll makes the catch in short left field for the second out of the inning. And Ross is retired. Well, coming soon, it's Radio BDC. Tune in to Boston.com streaming radio to hear the latest alternative music and get the inside scoop on the events in and around Boston. Two outs in the inning. Runners at first and second. 2 runs in. There's Saltalamacchia, who struck out swinging in the second inning. In the dirt, nicely picked on the backhand by Joe Mauer.
Yeah, that play was made like a first baseman digging a ball out of the dirt at first base. Mauer going to his right. The breaking ball and backhands it.
Even at 1-1. Strikeouts have been a problem lately for Jared Saltalamacchia, who struck out 32 of his last 63 at bats. Fouls it off himself and is down 1-2 and literally down on the ground.
Looks like it got Saltalamacchia on the knee. And that drops him immediately at home plate.
Michael Malley in the house. Picnic in the Park, of course, is tonight. He's been the MC for Picnic in the Park for a long time now. You're on TV, Mike. We've had him on several times, and if the Red Sox are losing, he leaves in the middle of interviews.
Yes.
If things start going bad, he just walks away. Feels he is part of the bad karma that takes place at times. First time I think we've had a guest leave mid-interview.
And we've had a couple of others that have been sick of us too.
Yes. 1-2. Here's outside. 2-2. Inside, full count. Blackburn up to 60 pitches. 2 outs here in the third inning. Gardner has to be happy with the way things have gone to begin this series. The Twins coming in, winning the first 3 games of the series. In the air to center field. Ben Revere, he is under it, and he'll make the catch. Red Sox score twice and take a 2-0 lead. Around 10 before the game, and now he's in the Nesson suite with his family, showing off a large check, $50,000, a generous gift from Hess to the Jimmy Fund as part of their home run campaign. With this year's donation, Hess has given more than $250,000 to the Jimmy Fund through the Hess home run campaign since its launch in 2008. Nice job in the interview too, Tim, as we head to fourth inning here at Fenway. A 2-run bottom of the third inning for Boston. Josh Willingham leading it off for Minnesota. Willingham, Morneau, and Domet expected here in the inning. There is ball one. Pitch count is a concern for Morales as he works here in the fourth inning. Willingham walked in the first, one of 2 walks allowed by Morales in his outing. Willingham hitting at .263 coming into today's action, and fouls this one back below us. RBIs for Crawford and Gonzalez in the bottom of the third inning has given the Red Sox a 2-0 advantage as Justin Morneau waits on deck. Too far inside, 3-1. Fifth full count of the day for Franklin Morales. Willingham on 2 hops to short. Aviles, low throw, but Gonzalez corrals it. Nice play.
That's one when you let it loose and you go, oh no. But you thank goodness you got Adrian Gonzalez at first base to bail you out. And he does that a number of times for his infielders. Gonzalez reading that ball that's going to bounce. He backs off a little bit right there and makes the play. And Aviles explaining how he threw a sinker to Gonzalez.
1 out in the fourth inning. Justin Morneau, the batter, he grounded out to first base in the first inning as he takes ball 1. Kind of a patient approach today for the Twins against Morales. Morneau grounds one right side. Pedroia's got it. 2 down in the fourth inning. Well, tomorrow at 5:30, tune in for Red Sox Monster Monday, presented by Bob Stores with Dale Arnold and Peter Gammons. 30 extra minutes of pregame coverage before the Red Sox take on the Rangers. It'll be Aaron Cook against Yu Darvish on the mound. It all starts tomorrow at 5:30 on Red Sox Monster Monday, presented by Bob Stores. Our first look at Yu Darvish, who has not pitched against the Red Sox yet. All the games the Red Sox and Rangers have played, we've not seen Yu Darvish yet, and we will tomorrow. Ryan Domet batting with 2 outs here in the fourth. And swing and a miss at a high fastball. Line to center and in for a base hit. Third hit of the day for the Twins. It comes with 2 outs here in the fourth inning.
And they've had at least 1 hit in every inning except the second inning when they went down 1-2-3. A 2-out base hit here. It's on the label of the bat, but up the middle for the base hit.
And Brian Dozier, who grounded back to the mound in the second inning, 0 for 1. Takes ball. No, looks like a strike over the inside corner. Jumped the gun on Wally Bell. Quickly 0-2. Popped up. Bayless and Pedroia. Pedroia will make the catch. That ends the fourth inning. We're through 3.5. It's 2-0 Red Sox. Pfizer, proud to be a part of an industry that has helped treat, cure, and eradicate life-threatening diseases. 2-0 Red Sox on top of the Twins. We head to the last half of the fourth inning. Will Middlebrooks leads it off and takes a strike over the outside corner. Middlebrooks singling into center field in the second inning. He stole second base. And followed by Ryan Kalish. Mike Aviles scheduled in the inning is fly ball skied to left center. Ben Revere will make the catch shy of the track for the first out of the inning. How about some trivia? It's time now for today's AT&T trivia question. Question today is, prior to Pedro Siriaco, who was the last Red Sox to hit his first career home run against the Twins? Who did you hit your first career home run against? Do you remember which team it was?
Oh, absolutely. Cleveland Indians. Okay. Jim Perry got released the next day.
Really?
Yep. I've told that story before. Frank Robinson was the manager of Cleveland, and he said, if that kid can hit a home run off you, you're all done.
Finished.
And he just let him go.
I wonder what he thinks of you all these years later. Did he ever come back?
Who's that?
The guy that gave up, who got released.
Oh, I don't think so. No.
Oh, that was it.
No, he was at the end of the line anyway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we're totally the reason that he was finished.
No, but according to Frank Robinson, it was.
Well, I know we tried to dumb down these questions a little bit, so I thought maybe this one is in there for strike three. Kalish is gone, and there are two away. We're trying to make him a little easier. So I was wondering maybe if the answer was you again, but it wasn't. Somebody else has got their first career home run against the Twins.
Oh, no, it wasn't me.
No, that's why I was asking.
No. Fastball on the inside corner to Kalish for the strikeout. Second time he's gone down today, once on a fastball, once on a changeup.
I told Perry he was 40 years old when he gave up the home run to you.
That's a
Pitch was 66 miles an hour. Pitch.
And Frank Robinson at that time, I believe, was a player manager for the Cleveland Indians.
Do you think that could ever work again?
Player manager?
Yes.
I don't think so.
Did it work then?
You know, he picked his spots when he knew he could get a hit off a guy, like he knew a guy pretty well, and he'd pick his spots and go play then. But he was at the very end of his playing career anyway. But I don't think it's a good idea.
Well, P. Rose did it for a little while, and I just can't imagine it today. I mean, it would seem difficult to do. Wheels will pop it up around the mound. They're coming from everywhere. And it's the shortstop. Dozier who takes over, makes the catch. First 1-2-3 inning for Blackburn. It's 2-0 Red Sox at the end of 4. Red Sox baseball in Nesson is brought to you in part by Eastern Bank, listening, guiding, and being there for kids in need. That's what Eastern Bank and Adrian and Betsy Gonzalez are made of, which is why we've teamed up to support youth mentoring programs throughout Massachusetts. To find out more, go to easternbank.com/Adrian. On to the fifth inning back at Fenway. It's 2-0. Red Sox on top of the Minnesota Twins. Let's say Casilla leading it off. Red Sox getting their runs in the third inning. RBIs for Carl Crawford on his birthday, and Adrian Gonzalez picks up his 64th RBI of the year. Carl Crawford enjoying his 31st birthday. Pitching, no, he's outside. I'm going to stop guessing with Wally Bell. Ball 2-1.
Yeah, if you want to be an umpire, Don, you can go to umpire school and carry an indicator with you everywhere you go.
A little late, I think, for that. Down and in. 3-1. That's a tough job, umpiring. You are never home.
Yeah, you're not kidding. It is.
You don't have home games.
And the only time you get noticed is when you're wrong on the field. And even sometimes when you're not wrong on the field, you get noticed.
Yes. Ball 4 and down to first base. There's Alexei Casilla. It's the third walk given up by Gonzalez. Well, today is Vermont Day at Fenway Park. Enjoy Cabot Cheddar at your favorite grocer. Visit us when you find yourself in Vermont. It's all brought to you by the farm families of Cabot Creamery Cooperative and VermontVacation.com.
That was little Don. That was little Don fishing when he was small. Here's some facts.
Here's some facts. There's the state population, the state capital, Montpelier, Green Mountain State. What do? They got dairy farming, maple syrup, tourism, forest products. For the first, they got farming, they got Smuggler's Notch. I found out something interesting today that I did not know. That Smuggler's Notch, to get up there, Jerry, it's like, I mean, you literally got to go up this mountain. I mean, it is very treacherous drive up there in the summer. And I was thinking to myself, how do you do this in the winter? Well, the answer is you don't. It is closed during the winter. You can't get up there. That way, you got to go around it to get up to the notch. So the route that is accessible now for those who go up to Smuggler's Notch is great right now.
So the route that you and Tom Curran taking up there right now, you cannot use in the wintertime.
Inaccessible during like December and January.
Even with any other kind of vehicle?
Yes, apparently it is closed. And I understand why. I mean, it is literally straight up.
Yeah.
Lead runner on here for the Twins in the fifth, Alexei Casilla with Jamie Carroll. Head in the count 1-0. And that's a strike, and it's 1-1. They also have the Ben and Jerry's factory there.
Now that I did know. Yes. They've done okay for themselves.
Yes. For the first stand back is Casilla. Casilla goes. The pitch is inside. Throw is not going to be in time. And he steals second base. Second theft of the game for the Minnesota Twins.
See, that's what we were talking about a little bit earlier. You know, Morales does have that great pickoff move, but if you can get the jump, you can generally steal the base off him because he's not that quick to home plate. And that right there is the 14th steal of the season for Casilla.
Swing and a miss, and it's 2-2. On the ground up the middle, and it'll be picked by Aviles. Off balance throw. Gets it there in time. Nice play by Mike Aviles. By the time he got rid of the ball, he was on the other side of the infield.
Boy, it's awfully hard, too, from that position to get anything at all on the baseball going to first base. And Aviles gets enough. That ball intentionally let go there by Morales. And there's Aviles covering an awful lot of ground and making a very good throw to first base to get the out.
So Casilla moves over to third base with one down in the inning. And brings up the top of the order, Ben Revere. He's been on twice, single, stole a base in the first, and extended that hitting streak to 19 games. Reached on a fielder's choice in the third. And looks at ball one. It's jammed inside and fouls it off. 95-mile-an-hour fastball riding in. Tom Gilmette's view.
Sounds windy up there, too.
Fly ball to center field. Ellsbury backpedaling. Will make the catch. As tagging at third base is Casilla. He will score without a throw. And the Twins are on the board. They cut the Red Sox lead in half. It's now 2-1 Boston. Well, tune in tomorrow morning and every weekday morning at 6 for Dennis and Callahan here on Nesson and on WEI FM 93.7. They'll break down the weekend Sox Twins series and catch up on all the stories from the Olympics. It all starts tomorrow morning at 6 on Nesson and on WEI FM 93.7. 2 outs in the inning as Darren Mastriani bats. Run in for Minnesota. Trying to work that outside corner. Morales not getting the call. 2-1. Two and two now. Twins have 3 hits in the game. They get a run this inning without the benefit of a hit. Looks like you see a walk, stole second, took third on a ground out, and scores on a sac fly from Ben Revere. Well, Jerry, we figured around 90 pitches perhaps today for Morales in this spot start, and here he is at 90 pitches. His next one will be, and nobody warming in the pen right now.
No, it hasn't been an easy go for him. He's pitched very well in this game, but a lot of pitches early.
3-2 pitch. Mastriani stays alive.
This may be the last inning for him. You may see somebody get up between innings to start to loosen up.
Pitching line brought to you by Ace Ticket. 4 2/3, 3 hits, a run. He's walked 3, struck out 3. Even 90 pitches. Swing and a miss. Strikes out Mastriani on a high fastball to end the inning. The Twins get a run. It's 2-1 Red Sox halfway through this one. Whether you're watching the game at the park or at home, Eastern Bank's mobile banking lets you access your account from wherever you are. It's just one more way Eastern Bank is making banking easier. Learn more at easternbank.com. Well, the Red Sox and Minnesota Twins play into the bottom of the fifth inning back here at Fenway. As back to the hill is Nick Blackburn, who gave up the 2 runs in the third inning to the Red Sox. It's a 2-1 advantage now. Minnesota getting a run in the top half of the fifth. Jacoby Ellsbury takes the breaking ball for ball 1. In the air to shallow left. The shortstop Dozier goes way out and makes the catch right in front of the left fielder. It's time for a game break with Dale Arnold. Dale? All right, Dale, thanks very much. We're looking forward to that from Yawkey Way. One out here in the fifth inning. Carl Crawford sends one foul to our left, and in and out of the press box. Bill Ballou, Worcester Telegram, bad play. Well, one pitch is a swing and a miss, and it's 0-2. Crawford with a single and a run batted in the first. This one is popped up, blooped over by the Twins dugout, landing just in behind it.
Come on, Carl.
One-two pitch to Crawford. Reaches out and fouls it off to the left again. Still 1-2. Line down the right field line, but foul. Out ahead was Crawford. In tight, 2-2. Yankees have a 4-2 lead today over Seattle. They're in the fifth inning in New York after they were stymied by Felix Hernandez in yesterday's action. 2-2, wrap foul over by the Red Sox dugout and into it.
Crawford fouling off fastballs, change-ups. Good long at bat for Carl.
Ninth pitch of the at-bat coming up here for Crawford. Line backward came from and into center field. Over the shoulder of Nick Blackburn. Crawford on his birthday has got his second hit of the day.
And on a changeup again, back-to-back changeups, and this time he takes it right back up the middle. Pretty good pitch outside part of the plate. Was up a little bit in the zone, but Crawford takes it up the middle for the base hit. Stolen base back in the first inning. Red Sox have been running. Let's see if he goes again.
Here's Dustin Pedroia, 1 for 2. Single his last time up to right field. Throw to first, and Crawford sort of froze there at first and then did get back on the dive. Fly ball to right field. Mastriani makes the catch and fires back in quickly. No advance at first base for Crawford. 2 down in the inning. Well, Tuesday night before our Sox coverage, joined Jamison and Brick with the latest on the NHL labor negotiations on Bruins Summer Face-Off Live. You'll hear from Tuukka Rask and check in with Sean Thornton at his Putts and Punches charity golf tournament. Catch up with the NHL Tuesday night at 5:30 only on Bruins Summer Face-Off Live. Left field deck in the Fenway Grill. 2 outs here in the 5th inning. Adrian fouled out in the first, single to drive in a run in the third, his 64th RBI of the year. Another throw over and relatively close again. No dive this time from Crawford, able to cross over to get back.
Now Blackburn aware that the Red Sox have been stealing at will today, paying more attention to the speed at first base right now.
That's a strike call. 0-1. Tried to hold up. Did he go? No. Says David Rackley, third base umpire. The count evens at 1-1. Red Sox have a 2-1 lead over the Twins with Boston batting here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Inside for ball 2, 2-1.
Crawford may be taking off on this 2-1 count.
Fly ball to left field, struck well, deep and far to left and into the monster seats and gone. Adrian Gonzalez, opposite field home run. The Red Sox a little breathing room, on top now 4-1. Little push from the wind out there to left and it just carries out of the yard.
You know, earlier in the season Gonzalez was using left field, but a lot of it was line drives. Now he's getting more lift to the opposite field and getting home runs. That pitch right at the bottom of the strike zone, a fastball, and that inside-out swing into the monster seats.
Hess and Hess Express are proud sponsors of the Red Sox and the Red Sox on Nesson during the 2012 season. Hess and Hess Express will donate $500 to the Red Sox Foundation for every Red Sox home run. Hess and Hess Express committed to helping the cause. And Adrian himself donating $500 for each home run that hits in August. 5,000, not 500. And for Adrian, his 11th home run of the year. Red Sox with a 3-run pad. Cody Ross, 0 for 2 in the game, is grounded out and popped out. Now sends one back up the middle and into center field. A 2-out base hit for Cody Ross.
Cody Ross now 1 for 3 on the day as he takes the ground ball up the middle for the base hit. Red Sox with the 3 hits in this inning and the 2 runs scored. That ball was very low, and it was a topspin ground ball. Right on top of it is Cody Ross, but in a good direction.
And Blackburn 4 2/3, 9 hits now, 4 runs, 2 of them coming in this inning. Pitch number 90 coming up here to Jared Saltalamacchia with 2 outs and Cody Ross at first base. It'll bounce in, throw to first, and they get Ross caught in no man's land as Ross tagged out to end the inning. His secondary lead is huge. 4-1, Red Sox have the lead at the end of 5.
Resort Casino of the Boston Red Sox has endless opportunities to dine, play, thrill, relax, and of course, win. When you're here, you can be anyone. Foxwoods, anything but ordinary.
Second game and first game. Well, to Kevin Nate at the ballpark today as the Red Sox have a 4-1 lead as we head to the 6th inning. Bit of a surprise to see Franklin Morales back on the mound, but he is back out there again for the 6th inning.
And the Red Sox do have some action beginning in the bullpen behind Morales. Morales with 91 pitches. That's Mark Melanson, who's going to start to loosen up.
.92 pitches now for Morales. Joe Mauer leading it off. In there for a strike, and it's 1-1. Mauer 0 for 2. He struck out in the first inning, grounded back to the mound in the 3rd inning. Inside, 2-1. Action in the pen for the Twins, Jeff Manship. Red Sox Nation, if you need medical care at Fenway Park, visit the Beth Israel Deaconess First Aid Stand behind Section 12. Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center is the official hospital of the Boston Red Sox. Visit them at bidmc.org. Nice grab.
Get that with two hands, or did he get it off the kitchen?
A little bit of both, I think. Aviles to first for out number 1 of the 6th inning.
The Amica Pitch Zone is brought to you by Amica Insurance. Amica Insurance is not just how you're covered, it's how you're treated. Take a look at the first 3 strikeouts for Morales on the day. A fastball to Mastriani, a changeup to Mauer, and a fastball to Casilla. One that he chases up and out of the strike zone.
One out in the 6th inning. Josh Willingham, the batter. Walked in the 1st inning, grounded out to shortstop in the 4th inning. Morales has held the Twins to 3 hits and 1 run so far today. Inside, ball 2. This next pitch will be the 100th pitch of the game for Morales, and only the 2nd time this season he's gone 100 or more, and this is in a spot start after not starting since July the 13th.
Still has good velocity on that fastball, too, at 93, 94 miles an hour.
Ball 3, full count. He won that game in his last start. It was against the Tampa Bay Rays in St. Pete. 5 innings, not allowing a run, and then went to the bullpen. This is to right, and Kalish looking into the sun to catch in the sun field out there in right for the 2nd out of the inning. Always a challenge, but he's up to the task this time. Time now for the answer to our question. Prior to Pedro Ciriaco was the last Red Sox to hit his first career home run against the Twins. And the answer is Jed Lowrie. Lowrie connected off Twins Glenn Perkins May 10th of 2008 at the Metrodome. First of 19 homers Lowrie would hit with the Red Sox over parts of 4 seasons. Ciriaco's home run came in his 116th career at bat. He is the 2nd member of the Red Sox to have his first career home run this year, joining Will Middlebrooks, who had his first on May the 6th.
Kalish out in right field battling the sun right now, and you can see him trying to get as low as he possibly can to make the catch on that line drive. Sunglasses on, cap, use the glove, anything you can to block the sun.
In there for strike 2 to Morneau. Morneau 0 for 2 today. He's grounded out to the right side twice, once to first, once to second. In the air to left center field. On the run is Ellsbury, and he'll make the running catch as he runs onto the dirt of the track. 5.5 complete from Fenway. Red Sox have a 4-1 lead. Benjamin Moore is a revolutionary waterborne stain that will transform your home into the envy of your entire block. Find Arbor Code at your local Benjamin Moore retailer. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by New England Ford dealers. Manship has been up the last couple of innings and now into the game for the Minnesota Twins. His 9th appearance of the year, no record. 10.97 earned run average in 10 2/3. 18 hits. Opponent's hitting at 375 against Jeff Manship. So he takes over for Nick Blackburn, who departs on the hook after 5 innings. Responsible for the 4 runs the Red Sox have in the game. Jared Saltalamacchia leads it off for the Red Sox. He was batting when Cody Ross was thrown out to end the 5th inning. So Saltalamacchia with a fresh count and ground ball right side. Diving is Casilla. Gets up and his throw is in time. What a play. Alexei Casilla on the outfield grass and short right lays it out and throws out Saltalamacchia.
Yeah, on contact, it looked like it had no chance to be played by Alexei Casilla, but to see cover some ground and then the dive. Going toward the outfield to increase his range and then to flip the first base to get Saltalamacchia. What a play by the Twins second baseman.
Looked like Saltalamacchia was limping as he was walking back to the dugout. He had hit himself earlier on a foul tip off the knee, it appeared. And a limp at the end and on the way to the dugout. He's the first out of the 6th inning as Will Middlebrooks batting with a count of 1-1. Jeff Manship called up from AAA Rochester on the 29th of July. See how Saltalamacchia gets out of the box.
Might have rolled over on that right ankle upon contact.
Lined into center field, a base hit. Second hit of the day for Will Middlebrooks.
First hit was on a curveball. This time the fastball into straightaway center field for Middlebrooks. Last time he was at first base, he picked up a stolen base, his 4th of the season. Of course, Blackburn no longer in the game right now. Check out Manship's move.
Ryan Kalish, the batter, is 0 for 2. As he had trouble against Blackburn today, struck out twice against him, both times looking. And a strike called over the outside corner. Popped up, foul ground over his Carroll. And he'll make the catch. So 2 down here in the 6th inning. Ever wonder what it is like to be a NESN game day producer? NESN will give one lucky fan a chance to see the broadcast from every angle, including from the broadcast truck. Don't miss out on this one-of-a-kind experience to be a NESN producer for a day. Visit NESN.com/producer and enter today.
One of the great things about that job is you get to tell you and I that our ideas are dumb.
Yes.
You know, when we're talking about the open and stuff like that.
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, you could just pop right out and say, no, Don, that's a dumb idea.
You could spend the entire day putting it together, wake up, and then come in, and I tell you, that's ridiculous. This is in the air, left side, and that'll get out of play.
Well, I don't think so. I think we're going to go with this, you know. But you'll have a chance to do that if you win the contest.
Some other time. Yeah, that's right. You can
have a chance to do that.
Yeah.
You're the producer for the day.
Yeah.
You decide what the open's going to be.
Right. I wonder who we're playing when the winner gets to come.
I don't know. They could start working on their open now.
Right. The one pitch is lined in the left center. Over is Revere. And he'll get it back in, but not before Mike Aviles picks up his second hit of the day. The Red Sox have 2 on with 2 outs.
Aviles swinging the bat well since coming back in the lineup off that turf toe problem. Little step down the third base line, but still able to pull that pitch that was on the outside part of the plate. And the 2-out base hit.
He's 11 for 24 in this season series against the Twins at .458. After the game, stay with us for WB Mason's Red Sox Extra Innings Live with Dale, Jim, and Peter Abraham. Get a breakdown of Franklin Morales' outing today and hear the starters' post-game comments. Plus, you get manager Bobby Valentine's thoughts on the series finale from the Fenway interview room. It's all coming up after the game, only on Nesson and live from Yawkey Way. 2 on, 2 outs. Jacoby Ellsbury takes strike 1.
So a lot of people this morning coming into the ballpark who see a hit now on WCAX in Vermont, mentioning how much they enjoy that. Mike McCune.
Every day, one of us will be part of that.
Right.
Swinging a foul tip in. It's 1-2. Which one of us is doing it tomorrow? Do you know?
I just whatever the producer says. You know, that's another thing you can decide,
right, you decide
when you become producer.
Who does what?
Who does what?
Does Jerry do the hit with Vermont or BZ?
Trying to mix it up as much as we possibly can.
Springfield, Providence. You know, there's a lot going on.
Yeah, a lot of stuff.
It's a lot to do if you're a producer. Very busy job. 1-2 is fouled off. One thing that a producer does really well, the current one we have, bad news. No one gives you bad news better than our own Russ Ken.
I disagree with you. I think I know when bad news is coming.
You can feel it?
I can sense it, yeah.
It's when he's on the other end of the phone is when I know it. There's bad news.
He doesn't always call me with bad news.
Really?
No.
Call, see how you're doing, what you're up to?
Sometimes.
Really?
That's the one. It's exactly what hit you got to do, when you got to do it. The problem in our job is, you can't make the decisions like this at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
I mean, you got to almost wait till you get to the ballpark because that's when everything happens.
Like 2:30.
Even later than that.
3 o'clock.
Bobby Valentine's meeting's not till 4:30.
So you really don't know anything until 4:30. So there's no reason to go over anything before that.
How many times have we come up with an open and then you leave Valentine's meeting and boom,
it changes.
It's blown up.
Right.
Everything changes.
Well, there's no point in us getting together before 5 o'clock.
Well, we really don't want to see each other anyway.
3-2. Foul over by Carl Crawford, who's waiting on deck. Ellsbury with a double in the third inning. Came around to score the second Red Sox run. As Manship backs off. Good look down the third base line. Red Sox trying to add on to their 4-1 lead, batting here in the last half of the sixth inning. Ellsbury grounds it right side. Casillas got it. Ellsbury retired, and so are the Red Sox in the sixth. We head for the seventh. It's 4-1 Boston. Boston Red Sox baseball on NESN is brought to you by Eastern Bank. At Eastern Bank, we're made of free checking has got nothing to hide, which means no fees or any other types of curveballs. Check out what else we're made of at easternbank.com. A beautiful shot that is today on a warm day in Boston. Great day to be outside as we move along to the seventh inning inside Fenway Park. And the new pitcher for the Red Sox is Mark Melancon after 6 good innings from Franklin Morales. Melancon appears in his 25th game of the year, 0-2. 7.99 earned run average. Opponents hitting at .295 against Melancon. Red Sox have to be very pleased with what they received today from Franklin Morales.
Outstanding performance by Morales today, getting that first start since back in July and only allowing the 1 run to the Minnesota Twins.
On 3 hits in 6 innings, he threw 106 pitches. Ryan Doumit leading it off here for the Twins, and he takes strike 1 over the outside corner. Fly ball lifted down the left field line. Middlebrooks goes as far as he can, but it's into the seats.
4-1's not enough. I'm still waiting for the blowout game so we can get into Don's bag that he brings to the ballpark every day and all the stuff that he has in it. There can't be anything left in your house. I think we need about 6 more runs in this one.
There's going to come a time where you need something.
There will be a time.
Well, we're in an emergency situation.
Saved my life in Chicago.
Yes, bleeding all over the place. On the ground to first base, Gonzalez will take it to the bag himself for the first out of the 7th inning. Well, tune in to NESN on August 21st and 22nd for coverage of the WEI NESN Jimmy Fund Radio Telethon, presented by Arbella Insurance Foundation. Arbella Insurance, here for the Jimmy Fund, here for good.
That's the great thing about that, too. They get contributions from all over the country. You can see right there. South Dakota coming in with a contribution.
One out in the 7th inning for Brian Dozier, who's 0 for 2 today. He's grounded back to the mound and popped out to second base. Fouled off, and it's 1-1. Dozier in the first game of the series was 3 for 4 with a 2-run home run. He's been quiet since. And shortstop for the Twins, 0 for 2 today. Fouled back into the seats. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Brian Dozier. Followed by Alexei Casilla with the Twins batting here in the 7th inning. Up high, ball 3, full count. Swing and a miss. Melancon strikes out Dozier for the second out of the 7th. The Red Sox pitching, that's now 8 in a row retired.
Good cut fastball here from Melancon to pick up the strikeout. Dozier 0 for 3 on the afternoon. Only run coming in and a sacrifice fly in this ball game for the Twins.
2 down in the 7th inning. Alexei Casilla struck out, walked, and scored that only run the Twins have. That was in the 5th inning. Scored the run without a benefit of a hit in the 5th. Franklin Morales today, 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 run. Walked 3, struck out 4. Chance for his 3rd win of the year. Strike 2. Second time we've seen Melancon in this series. First time he went in and giving up a hit, had a strikeout. Grounded by the mound as Pedroia moves to his right. Throws in plenty of time, and it's a 1-2-3 7th inning. 4-1 Red Sox 7th inning stretch. Let's check in with your need to know with NESN Daily, presented by Sun Life Financial. Here's Jamison Coyle.
land that I love, stand beside her and guide her through the night with light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home.
Nicely done by Chris Allen here at Fenway Park. He'll be performing tonight as part of Picnic in the Park at Fenway tonight. And it is 4-1. Red Sox on top of the Twins as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. And it's time now for MLB news and notes. The Angels snapped a 3-game losing streak thanks in part to Albert Pujols, who homered for the 6th time in the last 5 games. He now has 24 home runs on the season. Boy, he went a long time without his first one. Doug Fister picked up his first complete game as a member of the Tigers. He allowed only 4 hits and 1 run to the Indians, giving Detroit their 3rd straight win. And the Mets' Mike Baxter tied an NL record with 5 walks in a 9-inning game yesterday versus San Diego. He also equaled a franchise mark as well. The first pitch strike into Carl Crawford. It is 4-1. Red Sox on top. Red Sox batting in the home half of the 7th inning. Average right now for Carl Crawford is 273. Last year he was never above 260. There's a ground ball base hit. And how about his 3rd hit of the day for the birthday boy, Carl Crawford. Well, this is more along the lines of what we expected from Carl Crawford.
And we've seen base hits today on fastballs, on changeups, and that time the slider to Carl Crawford. He finds that hole between first and second.
A leadoff single for Crawford. Dustin Pedroia bats here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Jeff Manship back on the mound for the Twins, his 2nd inning of relief. In there for a strike. Pedroia singling in the 3rd, a 1-for-3 day. Chop towards third base slowly as Carroll, the third baseman, cuts it off and makes the throw to first in time to retire Pedroia. Up to second base goes Crawford with 1 out. Well, tomorrow night, immediately following Red Sox first pitch, join us for Red Sox Game Day Live, presented by Uno's with Dale Arnold, Peter, and Jenny at 6:30. They'll preview the pitching matchup between Aaron Cook and Rangers rookie Yu Darvish in the series opener against Texas. Live coverage begins at 5:30 with Monster Monday right here on NESN.
Happy 3rd birthday. I guess Jake must be at home right now. Yeah, Mom and Dad are at the game.
We're going to intentionally walk Adrian Gonzalez with first base open. Adrian today has fouled out, singled, and hit a home run his last time up. A 2-run home run back in the 5th inning. Opposite field again for Gonzalez. Game was 2-1 at the time. Red Sox now have a 4-1 lead thanks to Adrian. So Cody Ross coming up next. 1 for 3 day for Ross. He singled to center field in the 5th. Crawford at second base. Gonzalez at first base. 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Foul out ahead.
That's the location that Cody Ross likes, and I think the only problem was it was a changeup that time, and he was way out in front of it.
Jeff Manship in for the 6th inning, starting the 7th inning. And runners at first and second, 1 out.
Straighten it up, Cody. Come on, buddy.
Outside, ball 2. Jared Saltalamacchia waiting on deck. Ross back up the middle into center field, a base hit. Crawford being waved around. The throw is cut off, and the Red Sox take a 5-1 lead. Cody Ross with his 2nd hit of the day drives in the Red Sox 5th run of the day.
And he picks up his 53rd RBI of the season. Ross going up the middle twice in this ball game today. This one a little bit harder than the last time, but no problem scoring the speedy Kyle Crawford from second base. Throw will be cut off by Justin Morneau, and the Red Sox lead it by 4.
Cody Ross 7 for 20 in the month, hitting at .350. In the air to center field for Saltalamacchia, and that will be caught in center field by Revere. Everybody's got a retag here, and not able to do so at second base is going to be Gonzalez. He'll be doubled off, as it turns out. What a catch by Ben Revere. 5-1 Red Sox at the end of 7. Red Sox Extra Innings Live. Join us for Red Sox Final presented by Geico with Dale Arnold, Jim, and Peter Abraham. They preview Aaron Cook's start in the series opener against the Rangers. Plus, we'll have the highlights around the American League East. It's all coming up after the game, and it's only on NESN. Red Sox had a run in the bottom of the 7th inning, and Boston takes a 5-1 lead as we head to the 8th. What a catch to end last inning, turned it into a double play.
Yeah, this might be the play of the day in baseball. I mean, everybody thought this was over the head of Ben Revere, but look at that catch over the shoulder and throws into second base to get the double play. That reminds you a little bit of that Willie Mays catch.
Yeah. Well, he turns this into a double play. Gonzalez was standing at third base at the time. Jamie Carroll leads it off and takes ball 1. Carroll walked in the 3rd inning, grounded out to short in the 5th. Strike, and it's 1-1. Craig Breslow is up in the pen for the Red Sox. Recently acquired from the Arizona Diamondbacks, back to the Red Sox. Blooped back at first, and a fair ball down the right field line over his Kalish to play it. Heading for 2 is Carroll, and getting to second base safely is Jamie Carroll. Second time he's been aboard, and a hustle double there.
Now, he has been a thorn in the Red Sox side, hitting out of that number 9 spot in the batting over the last couple of days. Right down the right field line. Nice play by Kalish, painting it off the wall. Good throw to second base, but not in time to get Jamie Carroll.
So Carroll at second base to begin things here in the 8th inning for the Twins. Top of the order, Ben Revere. A sac fly back in the 5th to give the Twins their only run of the day. And now he takes strike 1. There's action for Minnesota in the pen. The right-hander is up. Luis Perdomo. Fights this off foul, and it's 0-2. Hitting the road, take the Red Sox with you this season. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to see every Red Sox out-of-market game live and online and on your favorite devices in HD quality. Visit RedSox.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. Ben Revere also singled back in the 1st inning, has a stolen base today. He's down 0-2. This will bounce in. Melanson's 2nd inning of relief. At least he's starting it. He had a 1-2-3 7th inning. Ground out, strikeout, and a ground out in the 7th. This inning is started off with a double by Jamie Carroll. Swing and a foul tip held onto by Saltalamacchia. 2nd strikeout for Melanson. 1 down in the 8th.
Good curveball for Melanson. Nice play by Saltalamacchia, getting that ball before it hits the dirt. So the 2 strikeouts, 1 on a cut fastball, 1 on a curveball for Melanson.
1 out here in the 8th for Darren Mastriani, who singled in the 3rd inning. Otherwise, he has struck out twice today. That'll bounce in, blocked by Saltalamacchia. Twins are headed to Cleveland after the ball game today. They proceed. The Red Sox will be going to Cleveland on Wednesday after their game against the Texas Rangers, final game of the series.
Matinee game here at Fenway Park on Wednesday.
Next half inning, we'll get your preview of game 1 of the Texas series. Begins here tomorrow. Two and 0. Well, Craig Breslow has been joined by Vicente Padilla. On the outside corner, 2-1 to Mastriani. Of course, Mark Melancon, beginning the year with the Red Sox, allowed runs in each of his first 4 outings, 11 earned runs in 2 innings pitched. Option to AAA Pawtucket on the 18th of April. Came back on June 10th. Popped up. Back is second base, Mike Aviles. And shortstop is got it for out number 2 of the 8th inning. We'll tune in tomorrow morning and every weekday morning at 6 for Dennis and Callahan here on Nessinen on WEEI-FM 93.7. Break down the weekend Sox Twins series and catch up on all the stories from the Olympics. It all starts tomorrow morning at 6 right here on Nessinen on WEEI-FM 93.7. Two down in the 8th with Jamie Carroll at second base. Bobby Valentine out to make the change. Mark Melancon done after an inning and 2/3. The pitching change from Fenway. Breslow's coming in. It's 5-1 Red Sox. By Xfinity. Well, a good birthday today for Carl Crawford, who has 3 hits in the game. Part of the Red Sox 13-hit attack today. A big hit, a 2-run home run for Adrian Gonzalez. Leaves the Red Sox runs 3 and 4. As part of a 2-run bottom of the 5th inning, they lead it now 5-1. They got very good pitching and a spot start today from Franklin Morales, who gives him 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 run. Morales pitched very well, throwing 106 pitches in 6 innings as the Red Sox enjoy a 5-1 lead. They play here in the top of the 8th inning with 2 outs. Runner at second base. Joe Mauer the batter, and Mauer fouls it off to the left out of play. Craig Breslow into the game for the Red Sox. His 4th appearance. He's not giving up a run. 3 innings worth of work. 182 opponent batting average for Breslow. Came on for the final out of last night's 6-4 loss to Minnesota. For an inning and a third of scoreless outings in each of his first 2 appearances with the Red Sox after he was acquired on Tuesday from Arizona for right-hander Matt Albers and Scott Podsednik. And then 2-0 with a 2.70 earned run average in 40 relief outings with the Diamondbacks this season. Struck out 42 batters in 40 innings. Fouled off to the left out of play. Twins have had their chances, but today they are 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position.
Red Sox out hitting the Twins 13-4 in this game this afternoon.
Mauer sends one down the left field line, slicing foul into the seats. One-two is chopped to short. Aviles coming in, charging, and on the run in time. Mauer retired. Twins leave a runner at second. 7.5 done. 5-1 Red Sox. Hess and Hess Express are proud sponsors of the Red Sox and the Red Sox on Nesson during the 2012 season. Hess and Hess Express will donate $500 to the Red Sox Foundation for every Red Sox home run. Hess and Hess Express committed to helping the cause. And we play along to the bottom of the 8th inning back at Fenway Park. A new pitcher for the Minnesota Twins. Luis Perdomo into the game. This year in the minors, 37 appearances, 6-5 with a 2.14 earned run average. It's hitting at 180 against Perdomo. No decision in his only outing with the Twins. 2/3 of an inning, giving up 2 runs. Walk 3, didn't strike anybody out. He deals with Will Middlebrooks to begin things in the inning, and there is strike 1 from Perdomo. Pitched with the San Diego Padres, 2009, 2010, parts of 2 years, 36 career games in the majors. Zips that one to the outside corner for strike 2. Parts of 7 minor league seasons with Cleveland, St. Louis, San Diego, and Minnesota. Jeff Manship pitched 2 innings of relief for the Twins today, and he is charged with 1 run on 4 hits. Walk to batter was intentionally Adrian Gonzalez in the 7th inning. Didn't strike anybody out. Swing and a miss. Perdomo strikes out Middlebrooks for the first out of the 8th. It's time now for a look at the road ahead, brought to you by Safeco Insurance. Tomorrow the Red Sox begin their 3rd series of the year with the Texas Rangers. And for the first time they will deal with Yu Darvish. 25-year-old Darvish, who came over from Japan this offseason, has made 20 starts for Texas, posting an 11-7 record. He's tied for 4th in the American League with 145 strikeouts, but has struggled recently, posting an ERA near 7 in his last 5 starts. Live coverage begins at 5:30 with Monster Monday. 1 out in the 8th. Ryan Kalish 0 for 3 today. Struck out twice and fouled out to the 3rd baseman. Breslow finished last inning. Vicente Padilla warming up in the pen. Looks like he will be working the 9th as a fly ball sent out towards deep right center field. That is going to be off the wall. The center fielder Revere gets it back in, and it's a double with 1 out for Ryan Kalish. Hit a long way to right center.
Now that has to feel good for Kalish. A couple of strikeouts on the day, 0 for 3, and then in that 4th at bat, planting one off the center field wall. No question about this one. Revere was not going to make another great play on that, although he did make a nice jumping play to keep the ball from maybe being a triple.
Well, it's time now for the Coors Light Freeze Cam, and Ben Revere, we just saw him in a great play. Turned into a double play to end the 7th inning. Rob Saltalamacchia on this over-the-shoulder catch. Coors Light Freeze Cam brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. One out in the 8th. Kalish at second base, and here's Mike Aviles. Strike 1 to Aviles as the shadows have encompassed the home plate area now and start to make their way out towards the mound. Jacoby Ellsbury waiting on deck. Strike call, and it's 1-2.
Good slider shown by Perdomo. He got Middlebrooks to strike out on the slider to start off the inning. Good one right there to Aviles.
Fouled off at the plate.
Well, that ball came back and hit Aviles right in the hand. Well, maybe not the hand, but certainly somewhere on the arm.
Hills fouling it off to the right, out of play. Hanks tough here at 2-2. Taking off for third base is Kalish as the pitch misses, no throw, and Kalish steals third.
It's been the go-go Red Sox here this afternoon against the Twins. Kalish from almost a stop stealing third base and not even drawing a throw. Now the infield pulled in for the Twins with the 3-2 count, one out.
Ball four and Aviles down to first base. A one-out walk for Mike Aviles. Well, Andrew Bailey in a rehab appearance today for the Portland Sea Dogs. Went an inning giving up 3 hits and a run. He struck out 2 through 23 pitches as he makes his way back to the Red Sox. Made 2 appearances with the Gulf Coast League Red Sox prior to his appearance at Double-A today. Stephen Wright actually started that game. The pitcher the Red Sox received as part of the deal for Lars Anderson. 6 innings, picked up the win, allowed just 1 run. Ellsbury today in the top spot in the Red Sox order, 1 for 4, a double and a run scored back in the 3rd inning. To center, Revere almost came in too far to make the catch. Tagging at 3rd and scoring is Kalish. Red Sox lead it 6-1.
Well, was that a bullet by Ellsbury? Line shot that almost fooled Revere in center field. He had to end up jumping for this line drive. Ellsbury picks up his first RBI of the day, his 7th of the season, on the sacrifice line drive.
2 down to Aviles at first base, and Carl Crawford, who's had a 3-hit day today. All singles, 2 to center, 1 to right, and a run driven in as well. Stolen base, scored a couple runs. It's been a good day for Carl. Line and cut to first base by Morneau. That will end the inning. The Red Sox get a run. We head for the 9th. 6-1, Boston on top. Nesson is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Back at Fenway Park, Red Sox tack on another run in the bottom of the 8th inning, and they take a 6-1 lead to the 9th as they try to salvage the final game of this 4-game series between the Red Sox and the Twins. Vicente Padilla into his 41st game of the year, 4-1 with a 3.92 earned run average, 39 innings, 43 Ks, and opponents hitting at 286 against Padilla. Craig Breslow got the final out of the 8th, ground out the only batter that he faced. Josh Willingham takes strike one. Willingham walked in the first. Since then, he's grounded out, lined out to right. Fly ball struck well to deep center field. Ellsbury going back at the wall, and that is gone. Straight away center field. Right at you, Matt Johnson out there in center. As Josh Willingham gets his 28th home run of the year. Matt Johnson with the baseball. It is now 6-2 as the Twins get a run here in the 9th.
This really has been quite a year for Willingham. In the 28th home run, as Don mentioned, picks up his 81st RBI of the season, gets a Padilla fastball and takes it to straightaway center field right into the camera pit.
Slow breaking ball missing. (2-0). Padilla want to know where that was. He appears in. Did he go? They'll check. No, says David Rackley, third base umpire. And it is 3-0 now to Morneau. 0 for 3 day today for Justin Morneau. There's a strike, 3-1. Fredo Aceves starting to warm up in the pen for the Red Sox here. It's now 6-2. Leadoff home run for Josh Willingham here in the 9th inning off Padilla. Now Morneau will walk down to first base. Last thing the Red Sox want to do here. Morneau down to first. McClure will make his way out. Covidien, a global healthcare products company, is a proud sponsor of the Red Sox Foundation, helping to address health needs in our communities. Padilla giving up a home run to Josh Willingham to begin the inning. A walk to Justin Morneau. And now Ryan Domet will be coming up. So Bob McClure may be waiting for the arrival of Wally Bell.
I think they're trying to give Aceves as much time as possible out there in the bullpen to get loose. And it doesn't generally take Aceves very long to loosen up, and especially on a day like this, although he did throw a number of pitches in the game last night.
Ryan Domet coming up, 1 for 3 in the game as Aceves warms in the pen. Last night Aceves threw 34 pitches. Through 26, 48 hours before that, the day before, as the pitch in the dirt is now 1-0 to Domet. 2-0. Not close. 3-0.
This is unusual to see Padilla have control problems.
Ryan Dozier waiting on deck. Twins batting here in the 9th inning. There's a strike, and it's 3-1. Strike 2. As Padilla battles back, full count. Leadoff home run by Willingham. Morneau walked. Delmont with a full count here. Padilla works from the stretch. High drive to deep right field. Kalish looks up and watches that sail out of here. A 2-run home run for Ryan Dolman, his 11th of the year. And just like that, it is now 6-4. Second home run given up by Padilla in this inning, and here come the Twins again.
And out comes Bobby Valentine to go to a guy that he didn't want to have to use in this game today, Aceves.
Alfredo is coming in, 6-4 Red Sox. Twins, as the Twins have scored 3 times already. Vicente Padilla gives up 2 home runs, and now Alfredo Aceves into the game. 52nd appearance, 2-7. It is now a save situation. He's 22 out of 28. Ryan Dozier the batter, and he'll take a pitch outside. Dozier 0 for 3 today. He's grounded out, popped out, and struck out. On the outside corner, 1-1. Well, there's not been a comfortable time in this entire series for the Red Sox. They had a 6-1 lead here. And all of a sudden now it is 6-4. Here is a fly ball to shallow left. Avila's out, Crawford in. Crawford takes over and makes the catch for the first out of the ninth. Well, don't forget, coming up immediately after the game, to stay with us for WB Mason Red Sox Extra Innings Live. It's all the post-game coverage you'll need. It's right here on Nesson, and they will be live on Yawkey Way. One out in the ninth inning. Alexei Casilla, the batter. Walked in the fifth inning and scored the Twins' first run. As he takes strike one. There is action behind Aceves. Shinichi Tozawa. On the ground, Middlebrooks at third base, in on the grass. 2 down in the ninth. Two down in the ninth as Jamie Carroll gets ready. He's had a very good series, and today has been on twice. Walked in the third inning, grounded out in the fifth, doubled in the eighth inning. Strike one on the outside corner. Strike two. Aceves ahead 0-2 and strike away from wrapping this up. Oh-2 pitch. Inside, and it's 1-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out, and the Red Sox win. Now the Red Sox able to salvage the final game of the series as the Red Sox beat the Twins today 6-4. And they get very good starting pitching today from Franklin Morales, and a much-needed victory here today at Fenway Park.
Well, to me, Don, it was all about Franklin Morales in this ball game today. Coming in as a spot starter for Josh Beckett, throwing over 100 pitches in this game and pitching very, very well against the Minnesota Twins. Gonzalez with a nice day. That big home run going to the opposite field to give the Red Sox a little bit of cushion, which they eventually needed in this one.
Well, 6-4 win, a save for Alfredo Aceves. Bob's Discount Furniture will be stepping up to the plate again for the Jimmy Fund this season. Bob's Discount Furniture will donate $1,000 to the Jimmy Fund for every Red Sox game saved. So far this season, Bob's Discount Furniture has donated a total of $26,000 to the Jimmy Fund. So we will step aside and get back with more from Fenway. The Red Sox win this one 6-4.